Hello again, YouTube. My name is Bree, and this is my final video for 2023. So before talking about this any further, I just want to thank you for this amazing year here on YouTube. I hit 1,000 subscribers, which I never thought I would do, and that was such a huge milestone for me, and I just really appreciate each and every one of you that are here, whether you just watch the videos or comment or, I don't know, engage in any sort of way. I just really appreciate you. So thank you for being here for this little art journey. I know 1,000 is not a big number compared to a lot of channels out there, but it's huge for me and I never saw it coming. So thank you again. So for this video, I had wanted to do something special. My original plan was to do an oil painting, and I actually did get started on that. I got started really early, so normally I film on like Saturday and Sunday, edit on Monday, and have something up on Tuesday. But I actually started the prior Monday recording. I did the sketch in oils, and then I had started painting it. And when I reviewed the footage, what I realized was that my hand was right in front of the camera. Because I had the camera off to the right because my palette space is to my left. So what I was doing was putting my hand in front of the camera, and I didn't put manual focus on. So instead of being focused on the canvas, a lot of footage was just beautiful 4K of the back of my hand. So that didn't really work out. And I decided to do another watercolor painting instead. And so, yeah, that is still on the easel. I'll get back to it soon, hopefully. But for this one, I wanted to do something still a little different. I hadn't used the sketchbook too recently. This is a sketchbook I started earlier this year, so I thought it would be a good one to conclude the year on. So this is the sketchbook made by my friend Spofgh, and it uses Bockingford, well, it's mostly Bockingford tinted watercolor paper. I think the first page I did in the sketchbook was on the green paper, but I considered doing that. I'm like, no, let's use blue. So I just wanted to really leverage the square format and fill the page. And that was pretty much where I was going into this one. I very much went in with a plan in my head that didn't really translate well. And as I got busy and just stressed out because there's a lot going on, this piece had its ups and downs. I haven't worked on cellulose paper in a while, and I was really feeling that because, yeah, I would do a little bit with my scrubby brush to try to pick up some color or blend, and I would pick up way more. And at one point, I accidentally, I went to smooth out some things on the face and tried to change the shape of the jaw a little bit because I was really struggling on the angle, and I picked up way too much paint. I think at that point I actually had to cut some of that footage of me fixing it because the sun started to come. We basically had an entire day where we had no sun because there were so many storms, and the next morning I got up early to start recording and thought I would have more time because it was completely overcast, and then we started getting dappled light through the window and I wasn't prepared for it, so it definitely showed and it was kind of dizzying, so I cut that out. But yeah, so definitely didn't go to plan, but that's okay. I think it's not my favorite piece, but I think a lot of that is more the process rather than the end product, and it's fine to show the highs and lows. So not everything goes to plan, but it's still different, and I tried something new, and I'm proud of myself for that. So I also wanted to go back to the Roman Szmal palette because this is a palette I've used a lot this year, and it's definitely become I don't want to say it's my favorite, they're my favorite paints, but they're definitely if I had to pick my favorite art supplies for 2023, they would be it. I've absolutely loved working with these paints this year. I've done a lot with them, like studies. I did a series of studies of people who weren't white was my main thing. It's just, you've painted way too many white people, so we're going to just do some really focused studies on different skin tones, and I really love that exercise. I didn't keep up with it. I didn't do quite as many as I wanted to do just because it did start to become more of a chore than something that was fun, but I really did love that as I was working on it, and just a lot of paintings I really liked with these paints this year, so they feel like, it feels like they represent 2023 in art for me. But yeah, so the usual supplies there with the brushes, the Tintoretto brushes. I'm really liking that rigger brush I bought when I was in Italy. I have not gone back to that really, really long one, so I need to do that still. I just need time to play with it. Yeah, Bockingford Tinted watercolor paper, Roman Szmal watercolor. Oh, and then at the end, I do use, I think it's the Knicker poster color in white. It's just I have a blob of white paint on my desk in one of my ceramic palettes, so it's easy when I just need some highlights or something that it's right there. Yeah, it's got to be the Knicker because it reactivates so easily. It's lovely. I really should do something with just Knicker again, the poster color. I should do more gouache. I should do more oils. I should do a lot more things. I'm just struggling to get motivated lately. So, yeah, this one, otherwise, I did kind of want to go back to a couple things I did earlier in the year, just, I don't know, round things out, come full circle. So, I think it was in June or July, I did a painting of characters from Brandon Sanderson's You, Me, and the Nightmare Painter. And in that one, I did the two main characters, and they're kind of like floating beside each other. So I got to paint the long hair that was just kind of floating in water. And I don't have that in front of me anymore because I gave it to him so at a convention. So it's gone. I have pictures, but it's not the same. So I kind of wanted to do something with the long floating hair. I wasn't going for like floating in water, but I did want a feeling of floatingness. That doesn't really make sense. So I kind of did that with the hair, just in kind of a similar way. I didn't reference the original. I just wanted that same kind of feeling. But yeah, at the rush timeline I was trying to do to complete this one, and just I was getting really stressed out about it. I didn't really get to put what I wanted to into the hair, and it took forever to paint. I don't know. I was struggling. So I kind of wanted to reflect back on that, to have something that kind of in the same vein as something I did earlier in the year to help summarize 2023 in some sort of way. I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I really wish I had more time to work on this. I'm going to say this for like the millionth time. One of the things I really wanted to do, and this is not just a goal from this year, it's a goal that keeps coming up that I have not done. One of my goals for this year and last year and probably the year before were to do larger paintings. I want to do stuff where I get to spend more time on it and really develop the piece, and it just hasn't happened. And I know that is 100% on me. There is no one sitting there telling me how often I need to get a painting done or how complex things need to be or anything. Everything is internal. So I think I just get like a little performance anxiety when I try to think about something big, and then I don't have ideas and I freeze up, and I just haven't gotten there yet. So definitely going to keep that in the plans for next year. If I do one larger piece that I spend more time developing and feel like I completed what I set out to do, that'll be a win. But I'm not going to put like very hard goals down because they don't work. And then I go back to them at the end of the year and I see them and I feel bummed out I didn't do it. Actually, do I have my notebook in front of me so I can see my goals, because I looked at them recently for like the first time and kind of forgot I even wrote them. So let's go look at what they are right now. So the first goal is actually a reading goal, 52 novels, read 52 novels. That one I did a while ago. So the reading goal I nailed. For art, I wanted to do 2 videos a month, and that I mostly succeeded on. I wanted to create 5, and this is in quotes, big paintings. So that wasn't really well defined. I know what I mean. And yeah, since we're already talking about that, I'll go back to it in a second. And the other one was take or create 2 courses or self-study paths to improve and grow. So for that one, I think that like my original plan was the 50 paintings of people who are not white, which I didn't complete, but I did like 15 to 20. And then I did like moving away from studies, did more paintings on my own, including the Yumi and Nikoro painting, and a couple more that one of them actually made it to YouTube at least. So yeah, kind of, but otherwise I didn't plan to take actual courses. I plan to do more self-study, but I did take the oil painting class, and as someone on Justin's Discord pointed out, I also did the Bridgman boot camp, so I actually did complete that goal. Thank you to people who remember these things better than I do. So otherwise, I wrote to focus on your needs and create achievable monthly goals. So I plan to expand on my goals at a monthly basis because I knew planning ahead for the whole year wasn't working on me, and yet I didn't complete that anyway. So for the big paintings, I don't know. I'm going to really try to do that this year. What I did in 2023 that I guess does qualify as bigger, I did, like I said, the Yumi and Nikoro, the Brandon Sanderson painting, that fan art. It was a 9x12 painting. It was watercolor. I did put a lot of effort into planning it out. Not a lot, but more than I normally do. Looking up references to capture like the facial features of how I imagine they looked. Like I kind of saw Nikoro as being more Japanese and Yumi as maybe looking a bit more Korean, because just based on how the clothing was described. So I had some references to make sure I captured that part. And then, yeah, developing, like having references of people floating in water so I can capture what that looks like and those type of things. Like I kind of did my own thing, but I used references to help develop it, which is where I want to be. In the long run, it wasn't a super complex piece, but I was proud of the effort I put in and what came from it. I also did, this is kind of weird, an ATC where I put that kind of energy into. I planned it out very thoroughly and built all the pieces. It ended up being like a paper doll where I had, the theme was spice and elves, and I'd been making jokes about spicy elf, so I had like, I covered his bits with a leaf so it wasn't inappropriate, but I had like a elf cooking pancakes, and then I had like different clothes you could put on him, so like a t-shirt, boxers, a bathrobe, and an apron, and they all kind of work together if you wanted to put them all on together. So that was a really fun project. It wasn't a big painting because it was, you know, only how big's an ATC? 2.5 by 3.5 inches. But I went through that process and I planned it out, and it had a background and it had all these components. So I think it still fits the bill in that sense. And that was in gouache. So it really pushed me, and I really like that. And I'm so thrilled that everyone in that Discord community seemed to get a kick out of it too. So that was really fun. But yeah, I think that's probably it. I don't think I really have anything else that was big. So I want to take that and push it to the next level and really plan out something, but not have it because it's for someone else. So I had to finish it. I wanted to give the Brandon Sanderson fan art to him at that convention. So it had a deadline. I wanted to, the ATC clearly had to go on time too, but I want to do it for me on a time I don't want to have it done by a specific date. I want to be able to work on it for as long as I need to work on it, instead of being compelled to finish something sooner to meet yeah. So that's a goal I definitely want to go back to, and I'm going to do it next year, I promise. At least one, if I could get one big painting done the first 6 months of the year, I will be very proud of myself. The other thing I'd like to do, I want to create a sticker. I don't expect to really sell anything, but I think it would be fun to make a sticker from something I created. And I don't know really how many you have to buy at a minimum, but I can share it with friends. And I'm going to go to Dragon Con, and I understand they give out like, people hide little presents for people that you could find at the convention. So I could maybe hide some stickers, and hopefully some people find them and they're happy to receive them. So yeah, those are some of my like little goals for next year. And I know when I say little, they're probably not that little for me, but I'm going to try to keep it simpler because I can't complete the big goals I set for myself. But yeah, otherwise, I know I thought I said I was probably going to do more of a reflection video on the art I created this year, but I've been busy and I didn't get to look into things as much as I wanted, so I'm kind of going off the cuff here. I had plans this weekend and I wasn't home for most of it, and I've just been really tired lately, so we'll just bypass that. Eventually there'll be a sketchbook tour and I can go through it all. And I'm starting to think through how I might want to do some videos for next year, so we'll see. I lied. I don't have an art reflection for 2023, but hopefully the goal reflection is still okay. So yeah, now we're getting to the point where, oh look, I'm painting a background. It's a very simple background, but it is a background and I'm taking credit for it. So yeah, at this point, the hand looks really weird, but I didn't really get a chance to go back to it too much, so it's just gonna stay super pale. It's always funny to me how much things change when you add just the slightest amount of contrast, like a simple background. I really need to get better about planning pieces out, but like I said, there were time constraints. I actually went to see the Nutcracker this weekend, so one of the days I wanted to spend time painting, I was out and I had a great time, so it is what it is. Last weekend I went to a hockey game, so I've been busy and I'm not going to apologize for it, though I definitely need to take it easy because I am exhausted. So I'm socialized out, and then the holidays are coming up, and after that I'm going to relax, plan some paintings. I'm going to do it this time. So yeah, there's not actually too much else to this video. At this point I was super out of time and I just trying to wrap something up quickly so I could go to bed and edit today. Believe it or not, this simple video for some reason took 8 hours to export. Just the test copy that I'm recording the voiceover to. So I think there's something wrong with, I don't know, something on my computer that's making it take this long. I gotta fix that too, because that is not gonna work. I have a feeling it's gonna crash overnight and I'll have to export it again tomorrow, and then it won't go live until tomorrow night. I'm not hitting my 10 a.m. deadlines I normally pre-schedule because they're not ready, and that's a problem. But yeah, I really don't have much else to say about this. At this point, I'm trying to work too fast just to wrap it up, and the paper is not even drying quickly enough, and it's cellulose, so it dries super quickly. I guess I could have brought up the heat gun, but I didn't even think about that until like right now, which is way late. I do appreciate how much the granulation showed on this paper, because I don't think the granulation on the Roman Szmal shows up quite so well on the cold pressed cotton paper I usually work on, so that was kind of fun. But yeah, now I'm just adding some highlights and wrapping it up. So, oh yeah, and I should have done splatter for this, but I didn't want to cut out something to cover the character, so I just did lots of dots and little stars. And I was going to add some gold stars to it to kind of work with like the yellow highlights in the face that kind of didn't really show up so well on camera. But oh well, didn't happen. Maybe next time. So yeah, with that all being said, I just, once again, thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing well and you're having a good end of the year. And if you have any art goals you'd like to share with me for next year, that would be cool. I'm always excited to hear what everybody else is working on. Hope you completed your goals for this year and it went better than it did for me. But yeah, that's all I got. So great talking to you, and I hope to see you again in a future video. Bye.